What's up, everybody? It's Kyle back at you with episode 232 of Unlocking Your Inner Strength. Got a good one for you today. So let's see here. 8 years ago, almost exactly coming up on 8 years, I was still teaching. I had gone to a seminar the weekend leading up to Halloween, which Halloween's my favorite. I love this time of year. I love my Mike Myers mask actually just came in. Anyhow, I went to a seminar over at Vince, who's become a good friend. Vince has been coaching me for 8 years as far as business and more a lot of stuff along business, which has kind of transformed into a lot of life stuff. But I went to that seminar 8 years ago. That Friday, so that was on a weekend, so the day before the seminar, I handed in my letter of resignation from teaching. And that was the toughest decision I ever had to make in my life. I was walking away from a very secure job, a job that I loved, with people that I loved, and kids that I loved to teach. That Sunday at the seminar, they said, we're going to be sending you guys home early. I said, why are they sending us home early? There was only about 15 of us there. They said, well, you got this storm coming in that's once in a lifetime, Hurricane Sandy. And I wasn't watching the news. I wasn't even aware of this. Anyhow, at the end of that seminar, I went up to Vince and asked him if he would coach me. He said, yeah, I'll be handing out the applications. Just hold tight. Handed out the applications at the end. Filled it out. I heard back from him the next week, and he's been coaching me ever since. So I see the value in coaching. Obviously, I've had a lot of coaches throughout my life, and that speaks to the quality of what Vince brings to my life that I've been with him 8 years. But why was it so important at that particular time to have a coach? Well, I was giving up my steady paycheck. I'd already been running the gym, the business, for almost 5 years, but now I was going to go into it full time. I had no safety net, which was something I'm a big believer in. Is at certain points you need to have no safety net. Not all the time, but at certain points you got to have no safety net. And one of the things that I do that I'm very passionate about, pretty much my life's passion, is coaching people. Now, notice I didn't say training. I love training. I love physical fitness. Still get my fill about once a week with the Saturday morning workouts. But that was just an avenue, right? That created Newell Strength. That was an avenue, though, for me to apply what I was passionate about, to help people transform their lives, hopefully inspire them to transform their lives. And just like with the Panda diet, I've got the Panda challenge. And I just had this conversation a few times with people recently. Some people are okay with the book. You can get the book for about $30. It's got a lot of the stuff in there. Pretty much anything you need to do to follow the technical aspect of what I teach as far as fasting. But then you have people that pay a lot more happily for the challenge, for the coaching. Then I have private clients that pay even more than that for the coaching. So you have to be able to see the value in coaching to understand what you can get out of it and that it's an investment. So whether you're looking for coaching or you're looking to guide yourself, I'm going to give you the 5 coaching measurables. So these are 5 measurables that you need to get from point A to point B, whether you have somebody coaching you or not. Most people have these ideas in their head. They want to do such and such, but they can't get beyond just the thought. They cannot get just sorry about that, guys. They cannot get beyond the thought of, here's the idea I have, now what? Step number 1, and this stuff is gold. You're probably going to want to take notes on this. Clarity. Your brain thrives on patterns and needs prediction and response. So when I talk about clarity on where do you want to get to, you need to know, where do you want to get to? What does that look like? What is the ultimate, what does success look like to you? keeping in mind that this is going to be fluid. Things will evolve. I see Big G is on the lesson here on the episode here, and I told him a couple of weeks ago, when you have a goal, that's just a mile marker. That's just a direction you got to go, but you got to have clarity on what direction are you trying to head. So that's prediction and response. So that's the first coaching measurable. And remember, the idea of a coach is to get you, it comes from the term stagecoach, but to get you somewhere where you cannot get to on your own. Number 2 is focus. Attention and intentions. Put your attention on your intentions. I always say that. But your focus. So your attention, where your attention goes, your energy flows and results will follow. Again, a lot of people have these ideas, but their inability to command their focus, and there's ways you can train the brain for this, inability to direct their attention, right? Where you put your attention, things expand, things become more clear. But focus, you got to be able to have focus over the long haul. That is the key. And that ties into the next 3 as well. So you have clarity and you have focus. Next one we look at is the direction. That kind of goes into clarity, but the direction. As long as you continue to move and make progress, you're going to get there. You will get there. It's just a matter of time. Are you going to be impatient? Are you going to want immediate success? If so, you're going to live a mediocre life. Success does not come quickly, but success is the path. Success is the journey. Success is taking it step after step, day after day, and reveling in that. And I look back to years, when it was just me at Newell Strength, building up Newell Strength. At the time, it seemed chaotic. It seemed stressful. Very energy consuming, but I look back on it with fond memories, and that was the journey. That was success, going through that day by day. But the direction, to know if you're going in the right direction. Again, a lot of people get distracted by the bright, shiny object syndrome. They start on one path, and then, maybe I'll try this, I'll go over here. Well, maybe I'll do this, I'll go over here. Maybe I'll do this, I'll go over here. And they don't stay with something long enough. And in fitness, we used to call this program hoppers. They don't have their 6-pack abs and 20-inch arms within 2 months, and then I got to switch over to this guy. I got to switch over to this. Switch over to this. Their direction, they're playing ping pong. They're going back and forth instead of forward. You don't want to go back and forth. You don't want to go backwards. You want to continue to move forward on your path. So far, we have clarity, focus, and direction. The next one is strategy. What is your strategy? Tactics are different than strategies. So I talk about tactics if we're talking about diet, for example. That's doing something like low carb or keto. These are tactics. Tactics come and go. Usually temporary success. If you're talking about training, maybe I'm going to do a bodybuilding type of training, bodybuilding split. You talk about strategy. If we're staying with nutrition and fitness, strategy is time-restricted eating, some type of fasting. Right, that's a strategy that you can do over the long haul. Strategy with training. I'll dabble with all different tactics of training, depending on where my mental engagement is. But I know my strategy is peripheral heart action, so blood pumping, head to toe, work a lot of muscle. So I want to be very efficient in my workouts. Now I can do that in any type of tactical training that you want. But I have strategies. So think of your strategy as like your philosophy. So, with the coaching process, again, you can do this if you're trying to coach yourself. You just got to have somebody to have it be a sounding board to you. But you need a strategy. And make sure your strategy is still sound and still applies. And lastly, the 5th coaching metric or measurable, you need support. This one is tough to do on your own, but it can be done. There are ways to do it, something I'm going to be teaching in an upcoming workshop as far as theater of the mind and projection. Some cool new things I've been practicing with. But support is basically having somebody there to keep you in your right prefrontal cortex. Now, what is that? So the right prefrontal cortex, okay, right here. This is your right brain. So if you're left-handed, you're more predominantly in that part of your brain. This is projecting. This is the artistic side of the brain. This is creativity. It's the ability to think out into the future. So your left brain is more logical, linear, right here. Boom. Okay, black and white. The right brain is the one that can picture and envision the future and the life of your dreams. You need somebody that can constantly put you back in that part of your brain to get you excited again, to picture this. Picture, what is this going to become? What is this? And it's called visioning, theater of the mind, visualization, but constantly putting you there, getting you into the emotional state, because that's going to be fuel, right? That's going to be fuel. And all these elements you're going to need to ratchet up or down. Some are going to need more, focus. Funny, that's one of them, than others at certain times. But those are the 5 coaching measurables. 5 coaching measurables. To reiterate, you have clarity, you have focus, direction, strategy, and support. Somebody that can constantly put you in your right prefrontal cortex so you can picture the future, what you're working on, what's it going to become. Because listen, when you're trying to get from a point A to a point Z that you can't get to on your own, you're going to get frustrated, you're going to get stressed, you're going to get fatigued, you're going to get tired, you're going to want to give up. That's where having the support of, as far as somebody can constantly say, remember why we're doing this. What's going to happen? It's going to be this one day. It's going to be this. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. Right? And that's the visionary mindset. That's the visionary mindset. So those are your 5 coaching measurables. Hopefully that resonates with some of you or hits home. Please hit the like and the share button. If you haven't already subscribed on iTunes, subscribe to Unlocking Your Inner Strength. I always appreciate your support. And I'll be back next week with episode 233.